Alright, we're back.
Yay!
It's been like...
Crickets emanate from the crowd.
Yeah. It's been like 2 seconds for us. We didn't even...
Ella, stop breaking the illusion.
Wait. Oh.
They don't know that we're recording this in stock. Don't break the illusion. This has been a full week since our last podcast, guys.
Yeah. It totally has.
Start over.
No. I don't wanna.
Start over. That one line ruined it for me.
What?
Because that was so bad.
It was supposed to be.
All my energy was just drained. My chi is gone. My chakra is depleted.
Are you sure?
My ripple is gone. My nin is powerless.
Do you actually want to start over?
Nah, I don't care.
Okay.
Just like expect if you're ever looking at views, like every single view dropped off the moment you said that line.
Okay. I don't get views. What are we talking about?
Yeah, you have 80-some subscribers, don't you?
I don't get views, though.
Why not?
I have 2 videos that are over 40,000 views, and that's it.
So why do people subscribe to you if you're not going to watch your videos?
I don't know. I subscribe to people because they only have like 2 or 3 subscribers, and I feel bad for them. So maybe I'm getting a bunch of pity subscribers.
No, I don't get that. Like, I'm really into YouTube and stuff. Like, I'm subscribed to over like 100 so people. And I watch almost every video. Except for like IGN or something, because they release a lot of gaming news, and I don't need to watch every video they release.
Yeah.
I'll usually watch their conversations. But like, even then, why would you subscribe to someone just as a pity?
I don't know.
Either they make good content, or they won't get subscribers.
I mean, I don't have good content and I have subscribers, so I don't know. I literally uploaded a 10-second video with a bird flying and a bunch of random sound effects to it.
I saw. I watched it. I didn't like it.
I wasn't expecting it you to.
I like almost every video I watch. No, but yeah. I don't know. I don't really get a lot of anime stuff off YouTube, though, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't really feel like there's a huge anime community on YouTube.
Nah. I think that's probably why I get subscribers, is because there aren't a lot of anime channels. So... And I've been around for a while, so...
And, like, even the really popular anime channels only have, like, 10,000 subscribers, which isn't a bunch.
So, 80 for an anime channel is actually decent, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys!
Basically, the one thing you don't want to do on YouTube, at least in my opinion, is make a gaming channel, because YouTube is so flooded with video games.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just ridiculous. Like, don't get me wrong, I love video games. I'm a huge gamer. I love YouTube. But there's so much mediocre gaming channels out there that you're just going to become another one of them.
Yeah.
But okay, what do you want to talk about?
Okay, different anime mediums. So let's start with the big one, anime versus manga.
Okay, so to be clear, anime mediums. Anime, manga, light novels, visual novels, movies.
Nah, movies are animation, it's anime.
No, movies are very different from the TV shows.
I guess.
In both the West and the East.
Okay, let's say movies are a different one then.
Okay, and then what about regular novels?
Regular novels?
Yeah.
There's a difference between light novels and regular novels?
Light novels are shorter novels. Regular novels are novels.
Oh.
Like the anime Another is based off a 600-page novel.
Well, we can include them, but I haven't read any of them.
I don't know how to read Japanese in that, so neither have I.
I mean, yeah, okay. I'm also going to make an argument that Vocaloid is for Vocaloid as a medium.
Isn't I don't know anything about Vocaloid, but isn't Vocaloid just like one company doing it? Oh, okay.
What Vocaloid is it's software where you can input certain things and it'll basically be an electronic singer singing for you. So they released that to the public. So a bunch of people bought Vocaloid and made Vocaloid songs, like amateur music, and they became...
Why not just like have an actual person sing it?
because I don't know, Japanese find actual people hard, and it's really taken off. So, and like a lot of people who have gotten really famous through it.
See, I remember you showing me this back around 2 years ago, and we were on your laptop, and you showed it to me, and you were like, this entire song is made with a computer. Even the voice, it's all computerized. Isn't that cool? And I was just kind of like, yeah, that's cool, and just like backed away slowly.
Okay. But also, most Vocaloid songs tend to tell a story of some sort.
But I mean, I can get why that'd be cool for Japanese people, but you can't understand the story.
You have subs, and a lot of the times there's a video that's drawn with it, and most of the time the video is in the anime style, with certain characters.
Okay, but
So.
Okay, so like, you know when there's a light novel and stuff, and you have these people who like fan translate it on the internet?
Yeah.
Usually the translations are really bad because it's translated literally.
Mhm.
Is the Vocaloid done the same way?
Yeah, but it's music, so it's not as hard to tap. It's not as bad.
I don't know. When I listen to songs that were in Japanese and they're turned to English, like I have a lot of the English versions of songs on my phone. It's like
Well,
the lyrics are really bad. Like in the second opening to SAO called It's Innocence, that's the famous song. I have it on my phone, and like at the very end of the song, it's like the feelings I kept deep inside will call destiny to open the skies. It's like, what the hell does that even mean?
I don't know.
I don't get me wrong. I know the entire song word for word, belt it out in my bathroom, but like I don't really know what it means.
Okay, I listen to the Japanese and I read the subs on the screen. That people do. But, like, just the storylines are a lot different than anime, because anime, I've noticed in other mediums of anime, especially with like depression and suicide, anime and the other mediums seem to avoid that. Like, I've even noticed that with the anime adaptation of Mekaku City Actors. The main character, Shintaro, is actually clinically depressed. And in one of the Vocaloid songs...
There's a reason why they avoid it, though. But
yeah.
You can finish. Sorry.
And in one of the Vocaloid songs, he actually... in one of the timelines, he actually commits suicide. And they didn't touch on that at all in the anime. Like, they kind of did, but they changed the explanation for it. And that's one of the things I really liked about Shintaro, is that I feel like he's a really good metaphor for depression. So, but they didn't touch on it, so...
There's a reason why they don't touch on it, though.
Yeah.
And it's not because cartoons or anime are for kids or anything. It's not that. It's the reason that there's a disconnect. You can't watch... And don't be wrong, like, I like anime and stuff. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing an anime podcast. I like anime, but you can't sit... I mean, maybe you can because you aren't really huge into Western stuff.
Yeah.
If you're watching something, it could be the exact same thing, and it's an emotional scene... There are things animation can do that live action can't, and that's when people are like, and that's like when I try to explain Fate Zero to people, and they're like, well, why can't you just do it in live action? And it's like, no, you don't understand, like, it's an art form, like, they do it in this way to set it apart because it's how they want to do it, because it's how they're telling the story, it's their medium. But kind of something inherently, I don't want to say bad, but different about anime, is that there is that disconnect. You can't deny that because it's animated, because it's not real-life people, you sometimes can't take it as seriously, you know?
I don't have that problem.
Have you ever really watched a horror anime that's actually scared you?
Yeah.
Which one?
Hold on. It was when I was a kid.
Okay, so you were a little kid.
Gilgamesh, probably.
Okay.
Everyone dies at the end, and I thought it was freaky, and I didn't like it.
Okay, so, well, you were a kid. Do you really still think it'd be scary now?
Probably not.
Yeah. So there is that...
Well, I'm not a huge fan of horror. Like, horror doesn't really scare me.
Oh, I'm not either. But you still can't deny that there is that disconnect. And because it's not real, and because it's animated, and this fits in with the whole medium conversation, because it's not real and you can see that it's not real, it's never going to really be as emotionally impactful as, say, a live action thing, or even a song, or even a book. Because those don't have to kind of show you with books and songs, you can kind of imagine it in your head, and with live action, it's right there in front of you, just like how the real world looks if it's in HD. But with anime, like, there is that part of your brain telling you, this is a fucking cartoon. And there's that person there who's trying to convince me that they're depressed. Like, there is that kind of disconnect of, like, I don't really buy it, you know? So I think it's smart of a lot of companies to steer clear of it because, one, I'm not really going to be able to take it seriously. And two, with just the culture of anime and how they have harem shows that they can, like, market off of and have all these characters and say, like, it's this girl's birthday, send us money to buy her a virtual birthday present. You have a bunch of Japanese males who send the company money because it's a fictional character's birthday. That sells in Japan. That kind of stuff is what they want. They want the dating games, and they don't want a real girlfriend. They want to have a virtual girlfriend that they can hang out with and send money to the companies for. They don't really, I don't feel like a lot of them really want that. So one, it's not really in demand, and two, I think if it was in demand, I don't really think it would work very well. So maybe it was smart of Makaku City actors to avoid that, because at least in anime, I don't see it working. Whereas maybe in Vocaloid, because it's songs, it could work better.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you for a minute on the whole animated thing. Actually, I watched a lot of TV shows and movies, and I tend to identify more with the anime characters than Western characters, I've noticed. Just because I'm very quirky, and anime characters tend to be quirky, and I grew up with them, so it doesn't matter what the thing looks like. So I just tend to identify more with anime characters because the way they're portrayed, it doesn't matter that they're animated to me. I just identify with them because of their personalities and their quirkiness.
But there's still a disconnect. There's still a disconnect.
I haven't noticed one.
Yeah, no,
I can list off all of the characters in anime I identify with, and it's like 50 long. I can list off maybe 2 or 3 in Western media.
Yeah, no, but there's still, you can't deny that you're sitting there watching something, and you know, and obviously I know, like, Western TV or movies aren't real either.
Yeah.
But, like, you're sitting there and you can sit there and be like, these are cartoon characters. And I'm never one to, like, discourage animation. Like, I love animation. I actually get very upset when people are like, animation can't tell a mature story, because it can. And even a lot of so-and-so kids' movies in America, like How to Train Your Dragon or something, is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3 is a fantastic movie. And Frozen is a fantastic movie. Like, Frozen has so much subtext. It's a very mature storyline if you really, like, think about it. So, like, I'm not saying that animated characters aren't good. I'm not saying they can't be good. I'm not saying you can't identify them. But there's still that disconnect of, this is an animation. Like, I think there's something inherent about it where you can't take it as seriously. Or maybe that's just me, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. With Blast Rider, they portrayed the suicide of a character. And that's the only anime I've seen where, besides, I think, Higurashi, I've seen a little bit of, but all the characters are insane in that, so I don't really count it.
There's that one guy in Noragami who tried to commit suicide.
Yeah, but he was there for like 3 seconds. He wasn't like...
Oh, they spent like 4 minutes falling off the side of that building.
Oh, yeah, him! I thought you meant the guy that tried to walk out in front of the train. I'm like...
So there's 2 guys who try to commit suicide in Origami.
Yeah, but they're not one of the main characters, and they don't get a lot of development. In Blast Rider, well, the Blast Rider wasn't that important, but he was there for multiple episodes. And he actually succeeded. So I thought that scene was actually one of the most impactful scenes of the entire show. So...
You know, going back to the greatest anime of all time.
What?
Dragon Ball Z. Goku commits suicide.
Really?
Twice. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's like, I'm going to save the world by killing myself thing. It's not, I'm so miserable, I'm going to kill myself, I don't want to live anymore.
No, Goku's a very sad guy. He's a very deep character who holds a lot of angst and suffering.
Okay. I've only seen 17
No.
episodes.
No, actually, no, but seriously, in Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta kills himself. And he actually is a very angsty character, and yes, he does do it to save his son. But, like, he literally does it knowing, like, I'm going to hell, and there's no way I can repay what I've done. And like he yeah, and he does it knowing like I just killed a bunch of good people and I am a bad person and I will go to hell.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. So I mean.
Yeah, and I kind of wish that anime would portray more like psychology and kind of thinking, like around, and more like I wish it would touch more on depression and suicide more, because I think I think it's an interesting theme, and it's just a theme that a lot of mediums avoid a lot. So, but it is a legitimate problem.
No.
So, that everyone likes to ignore it.
I just feel like it's done better in a lot of live action stuff. Mm-hmm. And I feel like part of that is just the medium. And we're having a conversation about mediums.
Okay.
And I feel like if you want more of that, you can find a lot of it. It's not going to be Japanese, but you can find a lot of it. Mm. There's a great little show called Breaking Bad.
I watched the first episode.
Where in the first episode he tries to kill himself.
Does?
Yeah.
Why?
He puts a gun in his mouth.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And that's like not the last time he tries to kill himself. So.
Poor guy.
But yeah, no, I mean, if you are, I mean, like anime is great, but I think we can all agree anime is not as mature as we'd like to make it out to be.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
There's still a lot of like, oh, this girl fell over and I can see her panties. Blush, senpai. But I mean, there are some legitimately good mature storylines, but the problem is that a lot of anime still take place in high school, which doesn't really help the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, Ella, if you really want mature storylines that touch on depression and suicide, I would actually have to advise you, like, watch stuff that isn't anime.
You're talking to me.
I know. It's crazy. A great show that has a lot of, like, depression and character backgrounds stuff is a television show called Lost. Okay. In every episode, they have flashbacks about the characters before they got on this island that they're all trapped on together.
Okay.
But so yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff, and you're saying a lot of mediums ignore it, and I would kind of disagree with you on that. There's a lot of songs, there's a lot of books, there's a lot of movies, and a lot of TV shows that all touch on it. It's just that they aren't Japanese.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of that is the fact that that's not what sells in Japan. America's a really medicated society. A lot of people are on medicine. A lot of people have been to therapists. Depression and suicide is a very wide-known issue. Whereas I just don't think in Japan, even though it's actually pretty common, especially among young males, I just don't think it's what sells.
Okay, then.
I think a lot of Japanese people want their ditzy cinderes.
Okay, then how can you explain how some of the most popular Vocaloid songs touch on that subject if it just doesn't sell in Japan?
I mean, there's always gonna be niches and groups.
I guess. Yeah.
I mean, we still have 2D platformers here in the video game industry, and they still sell pretty well for how much they're custom made. That doesn't mean it's going to sell as well as Call of Duty or Battlefield, and that doesn't mean Call of Duty or Battlefield is better by any means. I haven't bought a Call of Duty in years.
Okay.
But that doesn't change the fact that that's still going to sell. And just because something doesn't sell as well or isn't as prevalent doesn't mean it's not touched upon. So, I was just trying to offer an explanation for why it's not an anime. And that if you want to see it, you can look in other mediums.
Okay.
Or make it yourself. There's a great quote. If there's a book you want to read but it's not there, it's because you haven't written it yet. And that can be applied to any sort of media.
Yeah.
So, anything else to say on Vocaloid?
No, I think I've said it all.
Okay.
Everything I want to say. Okay. I'd also like to do the argument anime versus manga.
Anime.
I am going to disagree with you for a moment. If you're looking at a particular series, then a lot of the times, from my experience, the manga tends to be better.
I would disagree with you.
Like Noragami. The manga is much better.
Here's the thing. Really, the only manga I read is yaoi manga.
Okay.
Well,
then you can't talk much about this
I
topic.
love yaoi manga. I actually like yaoi manga more than yaoi anime. Because yaoi anime, they don't always show the sex scenes. And in my opinion, that's what every good relationship builds up to. So,
Tumblr's gonna eat you alive.
No, I'm kidding. People should be able to do whatever they want, but if I'm gonna be invested in if I'm gonna be like reading about a fictional relationship, I eventually want them to frickety frack. And I want to read about it or see it. I want to be there for the moment. You know, I've been there. I've been with him this entire time. I want to be there when it all culminates. But no, I don't own any yaoi manga. Like, I own other manga, but it's pretty much all shonen. I own the complete series of Fooly Cooly. I own the complete series of Dragon Ball. Original Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z. And I own another, which is a horror. And then I own almost the complete series of Neon Genesis Evangelion, which I'm never going to read.
Gotcha.
Or at least I hope I'm never going to read it.
Why'd you buy it if you weren't gonna read it?
Okay, so, you know Holden Reviews, the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
So, he once said that, he once said something along the lines of, like, can you understand End of Eva, which is the movie that comes after Neon Genesis Evangelion? It's like, can you understand End of Eva? Good, then you deserve to live. And I've heard Neon Genesis Evangelion is kind of like a mindfuck. So, like, it really is confusing and stuff. So, he said that if you can understand the End of Eva movie, you deserve to live. So, so my logic is, I'm going to go out and buy all the Neon Genesis Evangelion manga books. There are 14 of them. I've bought 12. So, I've spent around $80 buying these 12 books. And my logic is, whereas if I ever reach a point where I want to kill myself, I'm going to read Neon Genesis Evangelion. And if I can understand it, then I know what I should do. And if I don't understand it, I know to go through with my plans.
I'm just staring at you right now. Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Okay, I hope you never read it too.
Yeah. So that's my plan. I own Neon Genesis Evangelion. Hopefully I'll never read it. But I have it, but I want to own it all in case I decide I need to.
Don't read it. Please don't.
So, yeah, I don't own a lot of manga. I maybe own, I think, 30-ish volumes of manga. But here's my thing with manga. I watch anime more because I pay, like, I don't watch anything illegally. The only way I'll watch it illegally is if it's not licensed.
Gotcha.
If it's licensed, I'm gonna watch it legally or I'm gonna buy it. If it's not licensed, I have no problem watching it illegally because there's no way I can get it legally.
Yeah.
So, I pay $7 a month for Crunchyroll, right?
Yeah.
And I'm the only one in our group of friends that does. You have a premium membership, but your parents pay for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've got to raise my allowances. My dad said he was going to stop paying for it. I'd probably start paying for it myself, though.
Yeah.
But my dad's going to
actually,
pay for
my
it.
mom said she's going to pay for the next 2 months just
cool.
to be nice to me, so that's cool.
Cool.
But yeah, so I pay $7 a month for it.
Yeah.
So I can get almost all the anime I watch for $7 a month. If I don't have that, I have Netflix. And if it's not on Netflix, and it's on Funimation or YouTube, and sure I have to watch ads, but I don't really mind watching ads.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. And I know you said you don't like the Funimation website, but I've just found it's really easy to just search Funimation streaming, and then the show, and then the link will just come up.
Okay.
And I can kind of get past all the crap on their website.
Gotcha.
Because it is a bad format. So, just the fact that I can get almost all the anime I don't watch for $7 a month, and then I have to pay $10 for a volume of manga, it kind of discourages me from reading manga. So, I don't really read a lot of manga. And I don't really say that it's a problem either. I think I can, I think in general, the anime have a larger budget, obviously.
Well,
So
yeah.
they're more well done, and there's more to stimulate you with the visual senses and the music. And I'm actually a really big reader. Like, I read a lot of books and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a lot of people say, like, they watch TV and movies and stuff, but they don't read books because they think books are boring. And I don't feel like that at all with books. But I kind of get it with manga. Like, manga, unless it has really good story, it's just going to bore me.
Okay. I'm going to say a few examples. A lot of the times manga, will have like phenomenal storylines. The problem is, it's hard to get into a manga. Like, for me, I normally watch an anime and then I read the manga. And, but I do see where you're coming from, whereas if I pull up a random manga, a lot of the times I can't get into it because, like, I think the only manga that I've just read a manga for it and liked it was probably Superior and Half Prince, and those are pretty good. Half Prince is basically Sword Art Online, only with yaoi.
Oh, wait, is this an anime?
No, it's a manga.
Oh, okay, I have to read it. Oh,
like,
geez.
literally,
that sounds great.
Literally,
that sounds right up my alley.
The storyline is this girl logs onto this game, and it's like Sword Art Online. It's like little playing thing. She's like, I want to be a dude, and the person's like, okay, for some reason we'll let you swap your gender. So she runs around as a dude, and then she meets another dude, and she starts staring at him. And of course she's a guy, so the guy's gonna like, is he gay? And then he starts pretending to be gay around him, and then they start actually falling in love. And it's great.
What's this called again?
Half Prince.
Half Prince?
Yeah, I think that's actually a Korean manga.
Korea's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a Korean drama?
I think I don't know. I pulled up a random drama on Crunchyroll. I didn't know if it was Japanese or Korean.
A lot of them are Korean.
Okay, it might have been
dramas are
Korean though.
My sister watches Korean dramas, and I've watched a couple with her, and they're just kind of funny.
Yeah. If it's anything like the one I watched.
What was one you watched?
I think
Boys
it was
Over
Divorce
Flowers.
Hunter.
No.
I watched Divorce Hunter.
I've seen a couple episodes of 3. Boys Over Flowers, Playful Kiss, and Manny. Okay.
But with the manga thing, like, a lot of the times animes are made to generate interest in the manga, in which case they'll just make one season of it and then leave it off and never continue it.
Like
so you
Oran?
you have to read the manga to find out what happens.
Like Oran.
Like yeah,
Doesn't Oran have like 80 volumes or something?
Yeah. Oran, Fruits Basket, Pandora Hearts, Tsubasa Chronicles, and XX-Holics. And Tsubasa Chronicles is one of those examples.
Is XX-Holic the ones where they all look like giant squid people?
Yes.
Okay.
And Tsubasa Chronicles is one of those things where they turn the manga into a kid show.
For kids?
No.
Okay.
But they, like, all of the, it's just, they made the anime really bad until you got to the OVAs. And the OVAs, to people who haven't read the manga, will make absolutely no sense because they're out of order. Or they skip a bunch of stuff between the OVAs. But Tsubasa Chronicles is a really, really good shonen and has some really good plot twists. So, but you can't see it from watching the anime.
That's the thing. I can get behind shonen manga because, like, not always, but usually, if you're going to watch the entire anime, read the entire manga, the manga can be better because shonens will have, like, filler, or they'll draw out the fight scenes and stuff. But, I don't know. Usually, with anime, I'll watch almost anything. Like, I'll watch almost any genre if it's just recommended to me. But with manga, and with visual novels and stuff, I've never played a visual novel, but, like, I've seen them on YouTube and stuff. I'm really only going to get into it if it's yaoi. Because, I don't know. I don't know, a lot of the yaoi animes I've seen, I just haven't really enjoyed. Like, I watched the first season of Sekaiichi Hatsukoi, and I'm wondering if I should watch the second one, because I really didn't enjoy the first season.
Yeah. I really think reading manga is, like, I haven't read a lot of manga, but I think I've read around 20 to 30. I think I have, like, 10 days in it, or 20 days. I don't remember how much. So I have read manga, I just haven't read a whole ton of different series. And I do think it's actually, if you want to be in a fandom, then you want to...
But don't be one of those people who excludes people because they aren't into
no.
everything you are. Like, that happens in video games all the time.
Yeah.
Especially with girls. You have these douches who will be like, you're a girl, that means you're not a real gamer. Or, like, you haven't played the Metal Gear Solid series or the Legend of Zelda series, you aren't a real gamer. Or, like, something like that. And it's just like, don't exclude people
Yeah.
just because they don't want to do everything you do or they don't have the same interest. Like, I'm just really not interested in manga. I just don't really care. Probably if there was more yaoi anime that I didn't have badly drawn guys with huge hands, I'd probably watch more yaoi anime. But, I mean, I just don't really care about manga. I'd rather, if I want to get a good story, I'd rather read it in a real book.
Okay, but you made an argument to why I should watch Dragon Ball Z a while ago because it was one of the
I said that you should watch it because you're really into anime and it's one of the most influential anime of all time. But I also know that you're the kind of person who does want to be well versed in the thing that you're into.
Yeah.
But then again, you saw 17 episodes of Zekai. It wasn't your thing.
No.
You aren't going to watch it. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to be like, you aren't a true anime fan because you haven't seen
Well, no,
Dragon
I'm not
Ball
going to
Z.
say that to anyone, but I do think for me, it sort of feels like the people who watch the movie but don't read the book. With certain series. Like with Pandora Hearts, it feels like that. So. And I'm not saying there's a particular problem with it, but you're just going to get more out of it if you read the manga. So I think...
I mean, I see your point. I just don't really think that... For me, I'm not really interested in manga, and I don't really feel like I get anything out of it. Like, I've seen the Dragon Ball anime, read the Dragon Ball manga, I didn't really get anything new out of it. I've seen the another anime, read the another manga, didn't really get anything new out of it.
Well, okay.
I've seen some yaoi animes, I've read some yaoi mangas, I haven't really gotten anything different out of it. It was almost pretty much basically like the exact same thing, and me just watching / reading it back to back, and it felt like a waste of time.
Okay, I agree with you there. If I've watched an entire anime to its completion and the source material doesn't continue on that point, I won't read the manga. However, if it does continue and there is more storyline that I don't know about, I think it is more interesting to pick up from the point where the anime leaves off.
Oh yeah, and that's up to the animator to do a good job. But if the anime really didn't interest me super duper much, I'm not going to. Even Fate Zero. I love Fate Zero. It's my second favorite anime. And I'm other than Fate, Kyliad Line, or Prisma Ilia, because that's not really canon in the Fate series at all. It's a Magical Girl show, which is Fate fan service.
Yeah.
Not counting that, I haven't seen any other Fate stuff or like played any of their games, and I probably won't. I love Fate Zero, but I have no desire to go watch the old Fate Stay Night.
Well, that's because it's bad. Like Fate Stay Night is bad.
Still. I have no desire to watch it. I have no desire to play the video games. I have no desire, if they have any light novels or manga, to read those. I'll watch the new Fate Stay Night, made by Ufotable, but that's not really a credit to the Fate series. That's a credit to Ufotable, who's a great studio who made Fate Zero and Kara no Kyokai, and the fact that I like Kara no Kyokai and Fate Zero.
Okay.
But I would argue with you the fact that I still feel like I got a lot out of Fate Zero. And I don't feel like I missed out on anything or had any less of a valuable experience because I don't know what Fate Stay Night is in.
Well, I'm not really talking about stuff like Fate Zero where they finish out. I'm talking about stuff like Pandora Hearts where they literally stop before it gets good.
Yeah. And Fate Zero stopped before the story was over in Fate Stay Night. It's all one story.
Fate Stay Night is bad.
Yeah.
They're redoing it. I'm excited for that.
I know they are. And now it'll be completed, but I don't feel like I've really missed out on anything because I haven't gone and saw what happened after Fate Zero. Just like how you're saying you'll miss out on something if you watch the 25-episode Pandora Hearts anime because it only covers the first 6 volumes. You're going to miss out on the rest of it. And yeah, that could be an argument made. But I don't really feel like I'm missing out on anything by not watching Fate Stay Night, and I don't feel like my experience with Fate Zero is any less because I'm not going to continue the story.
Well, I don't feel like that either. I'm just talking for it's hard to get a point across.
Yeah.
Well, for example, with Pandora Hearts, I think Pandora Hearts, the Jackson Tension arc is one of the best shonen arcs, ever. Because it has 2 of the greatest plot twists I have ever seen in anime manga. But then, and the manga does have a decent fan base, but like a lot of people just watch the anime and go, "Oh, this is stupid." Bye, because the anime was not a very good.
The Pandora Hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped it after 7 episodes.
Yeah. And it's a really good story, and it just...
Yeah, I just have... And, like, I read 9 chapters of Pandora Hearts manga. I just really have no desire to read it. I'm sure it's good.
It makes me mad that there's a bad anime for it, so then people don't want to read the manga, which is, like, one of the best manga I've ever read.
Yeah, it's your favorite thing.
It's my favorite thing ever. And
Legs is my favorite thing ever.
And people don't want to read it because there's a bad anime adaptation. So I think that's my main point. That because there's a bad anime, people won't... something that's actually good won't get attention because there's a bad anime adaptation for it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you can also say that if Pandora Hearts was really super good, that it... And obviously this... Let me clarify beforehand. Not everything popular is good, and not everything good is popular. But you could also make an argument, if Pandora Hearts was really super duper that good, wouldn't it be able to attract people without the anime?
It does.
Yeah, so
then
it doesn't really need the anime. Yeah, so then it really doesn't need the anime.
No, it doesn't, but...
Yeah. So it's fun.
Okay. Let's discuss light novels.
That's the thing, like, because I'm not really into those mediums, the only light novels I've read is the SAO light novels.
I've read a couple light novels, and I don't like them as much as the other things, just because the only way you can read light novels if you don't know Japanese is to get fan translations, and the fan translations are often direct translations, so they're not that good. Like, they're not well written. And I get what they're doing with the direct translations, like, you get the exact meaning of what they're trying to say, but...
Yeah.
It's just not that fun to read.
Also, I feel like a lot of Japan in general is very much about showing. I mean, it's very much about telling instead of showing. So with a lot of other books that were originally written in English, where you have more subtext and characters are developed in more subtle ways, the Japanese love their exposition, and they're going to sit there and explain things to a T and make sure you understand it. After every fight battle, there's going to be a 5-minute explanation of characters like, what happened? Well, this is what happened. And in first episode of Fate Zero, they're going to take 40 minutes to explain everything. So part of it is, it might not be just the fans' translations. Maybe that is just the Japanese aren't as good as telling stories.
I really like the Japanese method of storytelling, though.
Yeah, it's a lot like fan fiction. In the way it's written.
Well, I don't really like literature culture, but as for, like, anime and manga and stuff, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an art style.
You know, Japanese is a different structure. And so what sounds good in Japanese to a Japanese person isn't if you translate it directly, it's not gonna sound good to an English speaker.
Yeah.
So, let's see.
The last thing we have, visual novels. My only experience with that is Dramatical Murder, which I got bored with and will instead be watching the anime.
I think I've played a couple.
You think? Wouldn't you know?
Yeah. There's some things that I don't know, like, for example, Eve is a Japanese game, and it's one of my favorite horror games ever. And, it's really good. But I don't know if it counts as a visual novel.
See, that's my problem with these. I don't know anything about these other mediums because I just don't care. That's like asking me about, like, rail shooters or two-stick shooters. I just don't care about them. I'm not going to know anything about them. It's like asking me about, like, teen romance novels or pop music. And then asking me to do a podcast on it.
Yeah.
So 40 minutes in, what have we learned? I don't know anything.
And yet you still concocted a giant 10-minute argument to everything I've said.
I'm good at that. I'm good at arguing. But you know what? I'm actually tired.
Okay.
So I'm done.
All right. Bye, guys.
That was episode 3.
See
Recorded
ya.
a whole week after episode 2.
Yeah. Bye.